baby girls. How are you guys? How are you? Welcome to my mid-year book tag. I did this I think 2 years ago. I don't think I did one last year. 2 years ago I did do it differently. I just talked about all the books that I had already read that year, and then now instead of that I'm actually doing a tag with actual prompts and stuff like that. And I have the prompts on my phone. I took them from Sarah Crowley's video. It's very warm in this part of my room. I should not be wearing a long sleeve, but we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna deal with it. So some basic information, some basic statistics, you know? So far I've read 56 books this year. I wanted to read a little over 100 this year, so I am on the right track. But yeah, like I could have been more. That's divided into that I read 9 books in January, 12 in February, 4 in March, 2 in April. That's when I was studying for my final exams. 7 in May, and I read 18 in June. So literally the first month that I wasn't at school at all, I read 18. And then so far I think July I've read 4. If you do the math, I don't know if that checks out. And let's go to the first question, which is best book you've read so far. And that has to be, without a doubt, Defy Me. I felt so many emotions when reading this book, and I was so sucked into this book, and I don't even know how to explain what I feel for this book and what I felt when reading it. It's just, I wasn't expecting it either. Everyone said that Ignite Me was their favorite book in the Shadow Me series. So after I read Ignite Me, I kind of just like, I didn't really think much of it. And I didn't really have any other 5-star expectations. And then this one pulled through. And I was in shock. If you haven't watched the video, go watch the video that I posted. This book is in the part 2 of the Shadow Me series reading vlogs. But I actually want to throw this book at the wall. At the same time, I wanted to kiss it. Like oh my god, this hurt so much. This book hurt so much. So this was obviously a 5-star, and with that we're gonna move on to the next question, which is what are the 5-star rates of this year so far? So obviously you have Defy Me, which I gave 5 stars, obviously if it's the favorite book, if it's my favorite book of the year so far. But with that, I did rate Ignite Me a 5-star as well. And I know that's like a basic bitch move because everyone rates this a 5-star. But this was so good, and the tension, and I feel like this one was mainly focused on like kind of the romance aspect of the story. I feel like that's why I rated it so high. But with Defy Me, it was the other way around. Like I was more like into the whole dystopian thing, and that's why I got the high rating, obviously also because of the whole emotional attachment that I had to all the characters in the found family and everything. The other book that I gave 5 stars, because I only have given 3 books 5 stars and 2 of them were in that series. So before I read that series, and I read this at the end, like mid-end June, so I had no other 5 stars so far, except for Fourth Wing. I even made my boyfriend read this, that he like fully finished it. He's like halfway through Iron Flame, and he's so cute. I love him so much. I'm not the biggest fantasy reader. Like I've read the first 2 Agatar books. I read Powerless and this one, and then now I've always read Iron Flame. But you know, this was like my 3rd fantasy book ever, 3rd or 4th. So I would say I'm still really new to this genre, and I didn't really know what I liked, and I feel like this was so good. Like I could definitely understand why people didn't love this as much, especially if you're like an advanced fantasy reader. To me, this was so good, and I think this definitely piqued my interest to go look for more fantasy books and to read more fantasy. I've actually been in the mood recently a lot to read more fantasy. I also have a reading vlog about this if you want to watch that. But I think what I really liked about this one is just the whole trial, like the whole training, and obviously the tension, and like it kept you hooked, and there was so much action. Like it was never boring, and I think that's what really did it for me. But yeah, please leave some 5-star recommendations, because I can't keep going like this. I can't keep reading mediocre books. Then the next question is the best sequel you've read this year, and I was actually like I was pondering, because I was like, I haven't really read many sequels this year. I think I read 2 or 3. But then I remembered that I read this bad boy. And this is in my most recent readathon. This is all just self-promo at this point, but this was in my most recent readathon. And I had read Hooked, I think in October of last year. And I did really enjoy it, but I gave it, I think, like a 4, 4.25. And I was actually really scared of going into this book because I thought I was not going to like it. a lot of people said that this was their favorite, and I was convinced that, you know, like, this is not going to be my cup of tea, because it's apparently, I only heard that it was inspired by The Lion King, and I'm not the biggest Lion King fan, and I was like, I feel like I'm not going to understand the references or the storyline. This felt like so much more than a dark romance, because this is like, this series is marketed as a dark romance, and it definitely was dark. This book felt this one almost felt like fantasy to me. Like, it genuinely felt like a fantasy world, even though there wasn't I think any magic involved. It was like all about like, this was set like in like the 1800s or something, old and war and high stakes, and I really, it says Scarred is a dark royal romance. It is a fractured fairy tale, not a fantasy or a retelling. The main character is a villain. If you're looking for a safe read, you'll not find it in these pages. Like, I think like the old royal-esque of the book definitely like gave that same vibe, which I just really liked. And this came so close to a 5-star. I gave this a 4.75. I have given quite a few books this year 4.75. I think like 3 or 4. So it's not that I haven't, like, they just didn't give me that 5-star feeling, but I did really eat this up, and I have started the third one. I haven't finished it yet, just because I haven't really been in the mood for dark romance, but then when I am, I'll just pick that back up. Yeah, if you haven't read the series and you're into this kind of type of thing, like, I don't really like retellings, but this does not feel like a retelling because it isn't. So the next question is new release you haven't read yet but you want to. So I have 2 here actually, because I mean, I could have picked out more, but I felt like these were the 2 that I'm actually like really nervous to read and excited, because I have such high expectations for them, if that makes sense. So the first one is the reappearance of Rachel Price, and I know I'm actually really mean because I was posting on my TikTok that I was going to read this, I was going to post a reading vlog, and then I actually started that and I read the first 15 pages and then I stopped because I wasn't in the mood. And the thing is, if you know, I'm a massive mood reader, so if I'm not in the mood, it's just not going to work out. And I love Holly Jackson, her books. They've all been absolute masterpieces for me, and I just didn't want to not like this book simply because I was just not in the mood, so I couldn't give it my like full emotion, my full attention, my full love. So I did actually stop, and I even like got a DM yesterday, shout out to you, whoever sent me that DM. She was like, when is it coming? And I was like, girl, I haven't even read it, I'm so sorry. But I promise this is coming soon. It's just right now, the weather is like so crazy, like it was just the sun was just shining, and it's gonna rain later. And like the thing is, if it's raining and dark and mysterious in our room, then obviously this is a perfect read. But if it's sunny out and 25 degrees, like this is not gonna match. And the thing is, vibes are very important to me, so they need to match. That's why I haven't read, like, I really want to continue the Akatar series, but I wanted to wait until I was done with my exams, but I was done with my exams in May, so I haven't continued it because it's just not the right time. I know it's so stupid. I really hope that this is a 5-star, but this one has received a lot of mixed reviews from what I can tell, which makes me really nervous. But on the other hand, I feel like 5 Survive also has gotten a lot of mixed reviews, and so has A Good Girl Guide to Murder. I feel like obviously the more people read this book, the more there's going to be mixed reviews. Then the next new release that I really want to read is Bride. So again, this is a paranormal romance, vampires and werewolves. I think I've heard so many good things about this, and I've seen so many people give this a 5-star. This is again a 5-star like expectation. Like, I'm predicting that this will be a 5-star for me, also because I genuinely do give Ali Hazelwood her books a 5-star. I did give The Love Hypothesis a 5-star, and I have all of her books currently out except for Check and Mate and Not in Love, just because Not in Love I haven't been able to get my hands on. And Check and Mate, because it was marketed as YA, I didn't buy it, but then she's been saying it's not really YA, so I might read it still. I don't know. I'm just scared of this because, again, I have such high expectations for this, so I'm like kind of nervous to read it because I do want it to be the right time, you know? And that's why so many books in my room I haven't read, because I get scared. The next question is the biggest surprise. And, you know, this could be very positive, but I'm gonna decide to take a negative turn. And that is with All the Little Things. If you have this book, please either throw it into your fireplace, chuck it in the bin, sell it if you really want to make money. This book was so bad, I don't even want to sell it on Vinted because I don't want anyone else to go through what I read. It's not like cringy in the way of those really short Kindle novellas that are super weird and super cringy and like but you kind of have a giggle and it's like, okay, that was funny. No. This is a fully published book. This was so bad. This was so bad. I gave it a 1 star. And the thing is that when I was in the charity, okay, I bought this secondhand, right? Fair enough for someone getting rid of this. But I wasn't sure if I should buy it because I said to my mom, you know, I read the back. I said, okay, either this could be really good or it could be really bad. But then I checked the Goodreads reviews and they weren't even all that bad. So I was like, okay, Goodreads isn't hating fully. Like there's some like, oh now it's raining. Okay. There's like some mixed reviews, but like there's gonna be mixed reviews on every book. So I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna read it. And I read this in my readathon as well because it was such a short book. And I was like, okay, easy. I'll try to tell you what it's about without spoiling why I hated it, and then I'll go into the spoiler of why I hated it. So it's about this mom and daughter, and they moved away from London because something happened, but you don't really know what happened until later in the book. And then this guy enters their life, and you know, they're both very ecstatic about it, and you know, and then I hope this doesn't bother you. And then it says the past is catching up with them, but when push comes to shove, what would you give up to protect your family, your home, your friends, your life? Basically, this Alex guy, so okay, she ended up like stabbing this girl in her eye with scissors, like the daughter, and that's when they moved away because she had like these psychopathic tendencies. And then the guy that comes into their life is her older brother, which obviously so fucking obvious. And then what happens is that he seduces both the daughter and the mom. The daughter's like, I think 15, 16. He's 19. I decided to make a thumbnail so it could stop raining. It literally took me 2 minutes and now the sun is shining again. So he sleeps with the daughter and the mom, and the ending is so predictable. It's so bad. But that just really like grossed me out and I want to throw this book like. Yeah. The next question is favorite author, debut, or new to you? For me, that is Claire Douglas. So I have 4 books by her and I actually have read 3 of them this year. I'm pretty sure I read like 3 of them in 1 month, or I think I read like 2 of them. I think I read 2 in 1 month and then the other one the month after. But it might even be all in 1 month. Yeah, 3 of them in 1 month. Okay, so the first book I read by her is Just Like the Other Girls. Then I read Then She Vanishes. And then I read The Girls Who Disappeared. I know they all sound so similar, like literally vanishes, just like the other girls, the girls who disappeared. But the storylines were all very different. Yeah, I think my favorite definitely was Just Like the Other Girls. I think this was my fave. I think this was really good. I have now started to look for her books in charity shops and when I go to stores. And I still have The Woman Who Lied, but because this is the last book that I have of her physically, I'm like waiting for the right time. This one's also kind of like similar to these, not gonna lie. They all have like an overlapping theme of like journalist or detective and like girls and disappearing and weird stuff. But they're all still like quite different in their stories and they're also really interesting. I've heard like mixed reviews about her writing and about her books, but so far all 3 of them I liked. Obviously some like more than others. I've liked them all and I've listened to all 3 of these on audiobook. So I definitely recommend audiobook because I don't know, I just had a really fun time. They're all 3 of these are on Next Story, which I do have a code for and a link in my description if you want to check it out for a 50-day free trial. But yeah, I think this is my new favorite author if you are definitely into like a little bit of like, she doesn't remind me necessarily of Frida McFadden, but I feel like if you like Frida McFadden, you'll like this. It's very easy, it's fun, it's creepy, it's weird. There's twists, there's turns. I don't think there's as many like, it's not as like plot twisty as Frida McFadden, I'd say. But for me, I just got so attached to the characters that I think Claire Douglas really makes you attached to the characters, which I really, really enjoy, especially in thrillers, because I feel like that tends to be like left out. The second to last question is, what books you need to read by the end of this year? Funny thing is, this is my book journal, and in my book journal I actually made a 24 books in 2024 page. So don't look at the book bingo, but so obviously all of these I still want to read this year. I'm gonna quickly just name them. I'm just gonna name the ones that I'm not about to pick up on the pile in a second. A Court of Wings and Ruin, Mile High, Kingdom of the Kingdom of the Wicked, Two Wrongs Make a Right, and Throne of Glass. I think I will read the Throne of Glass series this year. I don't know if I'll finish it this year, but that's the thing. I think I'll start it. Love Theoretically is also on this list, but I've already completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's really not that much. Hold on. Whatever. Okay. Actually, a lot of this question and the next question overlap, so I think I'm gonna do them at the same time. The next question was 5-star predictions, and a lot of these overlap, so I'm first gonna still do these, but if they overlap with the next question, I'll immediately let you know. The books I still want to read this year. The first book is Love Redesign by Lauren Asher, and this is also immediately a 5-star prediction. So a lot of people didn't like this one, which has scared me a little bit, not gonna lie. But then other people say that this is her best book yet. Make it make sense. So I'm kind of scared now, but initially I definitely thought this was going to be a 5-star, and I do want to kind of like stick true to my true emotions, because I did give Final Offer a 5-star, and I feel like not a lot of people did. Final Offer was like my favorite. It was so good. It was so good. It was one of my favorite books I read last year. It was definitely in like the top 3. So yeah, I do just really want to read this, and I want to see if it is going to be a 5-star. I want to read this year also because the second one's coming out. The second one has come out, and I don't know when the third one's going to come out, but probably still this year or like start of next year. So I don't want to be super behind again. The next thing that I really want to finish this year is the Chestnut Spring series. I just picked up Reckless because this is the one that I'm at right now. I do also think that Reckless is going to be a 5-star, at least I hope, because I feel like there's a divide. So either you really liked Heartless or you really liked Reckless. Like, I feel like it's always like you give like one of them is your favorite, and I really enjoyed Heartless more than I enjoyed like Flawless or Powerless, but I just hope that this is a 5-star because I do want one of these books to be a 5-star, because I'm a little scared, not gonna lie. And none of them are gonna be a 5-star, but they don't need to be, but it would be really nice if they are. The next one is Wildfire. Obviously Daydream is coming out soon. I was one of those people that did rate Icebreaker a 4.75 star. Oh, sorry, I know that was crazy, but I just had a little fun. I was emotionally invested, so I feel like, okay, like you don't need to shame me for it. A lot of people loved this one even more. They said it was a lot better than Icebreaker, and I'm just so excited. And now I'm seeing so many good like ARC reviews about Daydream. Like, I don't own Icebreaker, but I feel like I need to, especially, you know, if she's gonna keep coming out with books in the same series, then I need to have them. And this is on my summer TBR, so I do think I'm gonna read this soon. I'm just not in the mood for romance right now, which is dangerous since I have so many. The next book that I really want to read is Hide and Seek. This is not necessarily a 5-star like prediction. It would be really nice if it was, though, of course. But this is part of the Helen Gray series. This is book number 6, I think, and I have read book 7. That's how I found out the series. Then I went back to the first. Now I'm back at 6, and I haven't read this yet because I've been just kind of scared, kind of nervous, because I do really enjoy the series, but it's hefty. And also currently I think there's 11 books. I think the 12th one is coming out soon-ish, or there's 12 or something, but I'm not ready to, like, I don't know, I'm taking my time with the series and taking my sweet time. Yeah, I can't really say much about it because it is it's in the middle of the series. It's like right deep in the middle. Sorry. The next book that I still really want to read this year is One Dark Window. So as I said before, I'm kind of trying to get into my fantasy era. I actually ordered The Serpent of Wings at Night, and I might order Quicksilver just because I've seen everyone talk about it, and I've been in such a fantasy mood recently, and I think for fall it'll be like, I've heard so many good things about this, and it's really funny because some people really enjoyed the first book and they didn't like the second one, and other people are like, I liked the first book but the second one was so good, and they rate the second one then 5 stars. I have no clue what this is about, but I feel like with fantasy I shouldn't even try to figure out what it is about, and just roll with it. And also the cover is just absolutely stunning, but I did make the financial responsible decision and I only have this one, and then I can order the second one if I want to. I now have a job finally. Like I didn't have a job for like 2 years. Now I had YouTube, but I didn't have a proper job. Now I have a proper job. So now I'm gonna be earning bank so I can buy books. I'm so sorry. It's so exhausting to talk about books. The other book that I still really want to read this year is The Girl on the Ice. So I saw this on Kindle Unlimited a really long time ago. I almost read it, but then I was like, I feel like I can find it in the charity shop, and I did. So this is a detective series, and as you know, I'm like obsessed with detective series. It's my favorite thing to read, right? Because it's just like watching a police show. Every episode there's like a different case, every book there's a different case, but it's the same people. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. And I've heard really good things about the series. It's not very popular on TikTok, I feel like, but I think it's very popular amongst older people. I don't know. I'm very excited. I think I'm only gonna really read this in the winter because obviously The Girl on the Ice. So this is definitely gonna be for the colder seasons, but I do still want to read this year. Then these 3 are also 5-star predictions, as well as I cannot wait to read them. So we have Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and you're like, that's a 5-star prediction? I rated Credence a 5-star. And that's all I'm gonna say. This year I also still really want to read Binding and Keeping 13, and I'm gonna do a reading vlog on these. I think I'll just do one big fat reading vlog, because the thing is that somebody said that you will want to read this one immediately after this one because of what happened at the end of this one. So first I was only going to do a reading vlog of this one, but if you want me to do one, I will. If you're not interested, I won't, and I'll just read them and let you know what I thought. I am so scared of these. Not just only because of the size. It's not even the size anymore that scares me. It's just because everyone gets so emotionally attached and everyone's so sad. And I'm not ready. And then the next book that I also really want to read this year, that I also think is going to be, or hope is going to be a 5-star, is Butcher and Blackbird. No, Butcher and Blackbird, not A. Butcher and Blackbird. And I think I'm going to really enjoy this because a lot of people said that if you enjoy the Mindfuck series, you're really going to enjoy this. And the Mindfuck series is my baby. It's my everything. I just really hope that this is my cup of tea, because some people really, like, again, this is one of those books with really mixed reviews. This one is really short. It's only like 330 pages. And then this is the last thing that I really want to read this year, that I simultaneously also again think is going to be a 5-star, and that's the Natural series. So I've had this for a while. I really want to do a reading vlog, but then I didn't have the time when I did plan it, and then now again I feel like it's too warm to do it, so I'm gonna have to wait again a little bit. I know it's my own fault, but like, I've just seen so many people give this a 5-star. I ended up giving the last 2 books in the Inheritance games to like 5 stars, both of them. And this is like so up my alley. People say this is like YA Criminal Minds, and if you know me, Criminal Minds is my life. So this sounds like just my cup of tea, and I really hope that this is everything I hope it to be and I expect it to be. And here I hold the last 2 books. So these are books that I think are going to be a 5-star. So we have None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I have read Then She Was Gone. I read Then She Was Gone, and I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't my favorite. It was good, but it just wasn't really my cup of tea. But this sounds really good. It's like this podcaster. Yeah, 2 very different women meet by chance in a restaurant and discover they are twins, and then she invites her to like go on her podcast, and then, you know, she's been hiding secrets and stuff like that. Like, I feel like this is gonna be so good, and I just really hope that this is everything I want it to be once again. But I've heard that the audiobook is really, really good, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'll do half-half. And then the last book of today's video, and the last book that I think is gonna be a 5-star, is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. Again, I've seen so many mixed reviews, but I think this is gonna be a 5-star. It's like this common thing that whenever I do get emotional or upset at a book, it's almost automatically a 5-star. And I've seen everyone like sob with this book and cry and be upset. So if that happens, this will probably be a 5-star for me. That's just the way it is. And the rain started again. Like, this is all it says on the back as well. I'm not even gonna read it. I'm just gonna go into the blog. All I know is it's a sports romance. So that was all. That was my mid-year tag. I hope you enjoyed it. It might have been a bit random, a bit vague, but we were all just here for a good time. If you're still watching, comment this little emoji here or answer this question. What was your favorite read of 2024 so far? Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and do all that stuff. It helps me out. and I'll see you when I see you.